If you want, just give me a thumbs up when it's good to go. Hello, Dodger faithful, and welcome to the Dodger Beat postgame show. 5-1 victory by the men in blue tonight, with Dustin May getting the win and Mr. Richards getting the loss. Walker Buehler, the only thing I could say about that dude is he's a grinder. And he definitely stuck in there and in through that adversity didn't have his stuff as good as he wanted. Didn't have his A game, as you would say. But aside from that, he went out and grinded it and got the big outs, especially in that second inning where the Padres very easily could have had a gigantic, just punched the Dodgers in the mouth. But they grinded it out, and that's kind of the story of the game. It wasn't the prettiest game by the Dodgers. They grinded it out. They had super patient at bats. Obviously, the likes of Max Muncy and those kinds of guys have that tendency to have patience in the batter's box. But as always, they grinded it out, and the Dodgers used that depth to their advantage. Obviously, a huge caveat here was the for the Padres. You hate to see it when a player goes down injured. Mike Clevenger going out in the second. In the top of the second, that is, and looks like he's injured. So it looks like we'll kind of see what the word is in the next day or so when it comes to that. But the Padres, the Dodgers rather had to get to that bullpen early, and they had to smash it, and they did. Nine pitchers overall, including Clevenger, and they were able to go out there and get it done. 5-1 win in a gigantic ballpark, a ballpark that some of those balls like that, the ball that AJ Pollock hit in the fifth, I believe it was. Uh, Anywhere else, it's a home run. But tonight, it's that's just one of those things with that ballpark. It's a gigantic ballpark. It's huge, and obviously it played that way. But all in all, Mookie Betts getting it started tonight with in the fifth inning with that single and getting the runs in, and that's what the Dodgers needed. They needed to get it going because it wasn't a pretty game. It wasn't the prettiest of games either for both teams really. Eric Hosmer with that error in the that got Cody on, and obviously it's one of those where it's a mental thing with everything going on. But at the end of the day, they got it done. They got it going, and some guys got hits. They needed hits. Cody got that hit. JT got that hit. There were, it wasn't the best velocity, you would say, with that, especially in this era of exit velocity. But they just needed to string together some hits, get it going, and here it is. Here we are. Game one done. 10 more to go. Tomorrow, the Dodgers have Clayton Kershaw, on the hill going against, what it sounds like. It sounds like it's going to be Paddock, but, we'll kind of see. Apparently, we're having some streaming issues, so I apologize. There's a delay, and on my end, it's wigging out, so I apologize if you can hear that delay or see that delay. Let me just fix one thing on my end as well. Sorry for the technical difficulties, guys. Here we go. There we go. There we go. I think that might have fixed it. All right, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. Again, we're working remote, because of this weird pandemic that we're in. But we're trying to make the best of it and make it work. But again, all in all, the thing that was interesting as well tonight is how they went to Dustin May, and Dustin May carried it out and grinded it out, and that dude is straight filth. That he was hitting 100 on the radar gun, and he was going out and doing what he needed to do. So, outstanding stuff. It's super possible that he still might also start Game 3. So we'll kind of see what happens tomorrow. That's ultimately what it sounds like. It's going to be up to as far as who goes on Thursday is what happens tomorrow. So we'll hopefully Clayton can come out tomorrow. This is the best case scenario, excuse me, and Dodgers going out getting that win 5-1, again, wasn't the prettiest, but they still got the dub going into tomorrow. Having that momentum, especially when there's a potential for a long way to get 3 wins to get to the next round. So, best case scenario for the Dodgers. Unfortunately for the Padres, worst case scenario because they had to dive deep into their bullpen with 9 pitchers used. Obviously with the injury to Clev, but hopefully, and best wishes to Sunshine. It sounds like it's an elbow injury, so hopefully he doesn't need the old Tommy John surgery. But all in all, though, the Dodgers went out and did what they needed to do. Moving forward to tomorrow, the Dodgers again. Hopefully they can capitalize on that momentum and continue to grind out those at bats. Because they're the Padres. No matter what, no matter who's pitching, if it's a bullpen game, if you're going Paddock, whoever it is that's going to go in game two, no matter what, they are still going to come at them, and they did today, right? It took them until the fifth inning to actually get a hit. So they're going to come at them and they're going to be aggressive, and obviously they need to contain that offense for the Padres, and they did. They did a fantastic job of grinding it out. Like I said a minute ago, Walker Buehler wasn't on his A game, didn't have his A stuff, but he was able to grind out those important outs, especially when he got into some adversity in that second inning, and he was able to move it on and get it out and able to not have any damage as far as runs go. Obviously, he had the 1 run on the Austin Nola single, but aside from that, he was able to grind it out and have an outstanding start. That's a quality start, no matter how you do it, right? Especially in the postseason, it doesn't matter how you win; you just have to win. John Smoltz kept making a point of that, and they had it. It was an ugly game, but they made it work. Moving forward to tomorrow, again, we have Clayton Kershaw going. It's going to be, I think, in my opinion, an outstanding opportunity for Clayton to again further prove to everyone that Clayton Kershaw is a gamer, especially in this scenario where they can go up 2-0 on this super super dangerous Padres offense that they were able to contain today. And I think another dude that's going to have an outstanding game tomorrow if he's in the lineup, and I don't see why he wouldn't be, is Max Muncy tonight. He had a great game. Not only just on the glove side of the ball, but he's getting in a rhythm where he's seeing the ball better and he's hitting the ball. So the Dodgers, interestingly enough, though, as I mentioned it the other day, leading up into this, is I was kind of curious to see how those pitchers would react to anything as far as pitching off of a different mound, things like that, and it doesn't seem like that's an issue. I don't think Walker, to be honest, I don't think Walker was worried necessarily about that. I just think it might be more the blister. And that'll be interesting to see how that pans out in the next couple of days. They didn't pull him early. He wasn't pulling any punches necessarily, but it was interesting to see that how he was able to kind of overcome that adversity and grind it out and get those outs. And again, Mookie Betts, what else can you say about the dude? Mookie going out there and again grinding it out and getting that hit and kind of starting the whole thing after that Turner the Turner run, right? It's one of those things where Mookie just is that game changing kind of guy when it comes to if you throw him in the lineup. Obviously, when he's at the top, he's an intimidating guy, gets it going, and he just kind of makes everyone better. That you kind of hear that in other sports like in basketball and whatnot. But he's one of those guys that makes everyone better in that lineup, and he's showing it as this postseason carries on. So, all in all, a great win by the Dodgers. They grinded it out. They used there's a term that a lot of guys in baseball use. They roughnecked it out, and they did a fantastic job of just grinding it out, staying patient, not getting frustrated. They very easily could have been frustrated and not just gotten in their own way, but they didn't, and they had that opportunity in the fifth and they capitalized, and they look great. They look great. Grinding it out and using that depth to their advantage. Kind of looking around. By the way, Los Angeles Lakers, game 3, or rather, win 3, one more. Let's get that dub so we can get 2 titles hopefully in Los Angeles. Congratulations to the Lakers, and obviously all the fans that are mutual, especially because of all the ties together, and going into looking around everything in the league. And I apologize, my audio is getting weird here. I apologize. Sorry, we're just having all sorts of technical difficulties tonight, so my bad, guys. Let me see if this works. And if it doesn't, then I'll just have to close a couple things. There we go. Sorry if you were asking questions. I think someone just asked a question in YouTube, and I had to close that, so I apologize because it looks like my bandwidth stuff is acting up and kind of creating issues. So I apologize. But kind of looking around at everything else today, the Braves came back and beat Miami today. I mainly wanted to talk about that because if you were watching that game and you kind of saw how back and forth it was a little bit, it was a great game. The Marlins are a scary team, but so are the Braves, and it's good to see the Braves going out and doing what they're doing. The main reason I wanted to bring it up is the throw at Acuna. Like I know that's going to be a thing tomorrow. Garbage. That was garbage by the Marlins. Like if you, I'm of the notion, and I'll say this even for the Dodgers, being on this side of it as well. If you don't want that to happen, if you don't want those guys to pimp a home run, don't let him hit a home run. Get him out. It's that easy. So for them to be upset at Acuna for doing that, garbage. But that was a great game. The Astros, the garbage cans back there, I'd hit it, but they know what's coming. They go out and beat the A's in our ballpark 5-2. George Springer had a day. The Tampa Bay Rays go out and beat the Yankees 7-5. So great series going on. Hopefully the Dodgers can get a game 2 under the belt tomorrow, so that way come Thursday they can go ahead and wrap it up. Hopefully, but again tomorrow it's going to be interesting to see Kershaw go out and do what he does. I think Kershaw, like I said, he's going to drop the hammer again. Because in my opinion, all the pressure's kind of off of him with having a guy like Mookie Betts around in that clubhouse. So that is, I think, going to be a huge indicator of it all. They're familiar with this ballpark, having played there already. Obviously, tonight they've played tonight. They were able to get more of a feel for it. They were able to, especially the fielders, they were able to see some of the lines as far as positions go and things like that. And all in all, I think this is exactly where the Dodgers want it to be. Although it wasn't the prettiest win, a win is a win, right? So on that note, again, I apologize for having these technical difficulties. Our bad. We're trying to work through them, like I said, remotely because of the pandemic. But please give us a follow at Dodgers Beat. If you have any questions, if you want to follow me as well, my Twitter handle here is at the bottom at the Bean818. We thank you again for joining us, and stay safe, wear your mask, wash your hands, and we will talk to you tomorrow night after the game. Until then, have a good night.